Amazing. Amazing. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Am I audible? I believe I am. But let me just confirm. Amazing. Cool. Let's get kicked off. Top of the hour. It's amazing to see you all. I've joined into a few sessions and I know that they've been very, interesting, informative as well. But and I'm here to also share a bit of my journey and I hope this can help somebody today. I'm not sure how, but I believe it will. I'll just share over my screen. If at any point you do have any questions, please feel free to do so, and then we will process that way. Amazing. So let me just share my screen with you. Okay. Amazing. Okay, I believe you can all see my screen. So I'll just introduce myself formally. Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Daniella Osammor. I am a Scrum Master at Cisco. And you're probably thinking, what on earth is a Scrum Master? It's not your most technical job or a job that you hear as often. Maybe some of you are familiar with it. But let's get cracking. Let's get straight into it. So today we're talking about bridging the gap between the schooling to the classroom to career. So I'm going to take you through a little project timeline, which just simply indicates what I've been doing. So currently my stages and things that I've encountered. So this is a bit of my journey, right? So 2012 to 2019, yes, I am Gen Z, I believe. Yes, so I am a Gen Z worker, student, whatever you want to refer to me as. So from 2012 to 2019, that's where it all kind of started, right? I had secondary school and I had sixth form as well. Anybody from South London here, maybe by any chance? No? Yes. If you are, then big up you. So that's when I went to secondary school and sixth form. So that was where all the curiosity started. I didn't really know what I wanted to study. A part of me thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I could have emphasized that maybe I wanted to be someone who dealt with PR, fashion. I changed my mind quite a few times, right? But I knew that the skills that I had were staple. So communication, being able to present, the simple things, right? And if we move over to the university and discovery stages, so between 2019 to 2023, I then started exploring what success really meant beyond grades. So I was trapped in this whole mindset of, when you have grades A to C, because that's what we're taught, right? Grades A to C. Well, let's just say, I guess it's A star now. A star, there's A star, and there's B. So the classic grades, right? You get those grades, you thrive well. So a very, what I say, classist way in which we look or perceive progress or success. I started pivoting away from that. I stopped forcing myself to partake in roles that just showed that I had good grades in literacy and I had good grades in maths, for instance. Whereas I started channeling my inner passions. What was it that I felt or understood that I was quite good at? And I came across IT. It was something I studied for GCSE, something I studied for my A levels. I did a BTEC A level, but also qualified as an A level. And then, of course, I studied it within uni. So I studied at University of Kent. So business information technology, in which I studied business and IT, and that was amazing. It covered marketing, finance, everything you could probably think of in the business world and both the IT world. And then, of course, here I am right now, Cisco, the Scrum Master. We'll get into that role because I know you're probably thinking, what is she on about? A Cisco Scrum lead. That's what I'm doing currently, and in leadership too. So I'm helping teams grow through collaboration, confidence, and clarity. So my role is literally emphasizing and putting together the developers, to the product owners, to the whole team, essentially using tools that you're probably familiar with. Anyone heard of Jira before? Maybe Rally for you. Using those, forming tickets, and then assessing the needs of the user. Essentially, I don't make the tickets. However, I am through leadership and through understanding of what the developers and workers are doing, and then aid through great leadership and servant leadership. And of course, beyond that now, currently, I'm leading, I'm thriving. And it was a journey. I'll dive into it again. However, I am going beyond just leading at work, but leading at other places. So not just has my daily role then encouraged me to lead within work, be able to understand what people are doing, but I also have other things outside and communities outside of Cisco and even within Cisco to which I then lead and take initiative in. So you're probably saying, okay, she's told us about what she does. What is she coming to talk to us about? And I'm talking to you about the real gap, right? That is an issue that I picked out on. How can I be 19 and make decisions for what I do at age 25 today? It's crazy. Some of us have maybe been there, are still there. Maybe you're still 19. I'm not sure. Maybe you're still pivoting, still in between the ages 19 to 25. I'm probably wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't feel like I'm anywhere. But I'm here to comfort you today and let you know that there is a gap in which we need to bridge today. So school essentially teaches us, meritocracy, the harder you work, the better grades you get, the grades that you get that reflect where you enter. Can I tell you a secret today? My grades were absolutely terrible for A levels. And I'm not saying this to encourage bad grades. I'm saying this to let you know that it didn't take grades to bring me to where I am today. So I had, if I'm correct, I actually made an acronym for my grades because it was that funny. I got a B in IT. I got a D for Danielle in, I believe it was business, a couple of marks away from a C, which was crazy because I thought, hey, I thought I was really good at this. So I think with understanding, we know that A level terminology of hard then differs to GCSE, and then so on and so forth with university. So there's a construct that we're all taught. But my thing I wanted to really pass on today was the gap. Let's address the gap. So real growth actually starts where the curriculum ends. So not where we're thinking of grades, not where we're thinking of the subject you've loved from reception down to now. That doesn't really take you anywhere. These items do. Let's start off with skills and scores. So skills over scores, rather. How you think matters than what you have memorized. There were thousands of times where I'd come into Cisco, and of course, it's a very welcoming environment with working. I was shaky, right? Imagine leading a call with developers, managers, skilled persons that had been in the company for years. I had people come to me and be like, "Hey, I've been in the company since 2004," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I was 4 years old then. That's a bit scary." So imagine having to lead or facilitate meetings with these people inside the calls. Of course, imposter syndrome will kick in. I held myself back because I felt that I didn't know, I wasn't equipped enough to lead these meetings. I'm here to reverse that and tell you that skills matter than scores. Whatever you think you've memorized or you've known from age 5 might not actually matter in your role, especially when it comes to tech. Skills is what's required. We do not have enough time. Tech is constantly adapting and changing. So skills is what gets you there. The second point being collaboration over competition. And this probably sounds like, oh, here we go again. Teamwork makes the dream work. Well, it does. It does. If anyone tells you we should work in silos, it doesn't work in tech. Let me tell you something. Currently, I'm working on a project. If anyone's familiar with methodologies such as Kanban, Scrum, right? So I've had to pivot my 3 teams into one whole team. So moving from Scrum to Kanban. What does that mean? A few changes. Number one, there's going to be a change in the way in which we deliver and work together. Number two, maybe the board view of where we place our stories will change or differ, but this is all for the benefit of the team. So collaboration is very key. We were working in 3 teams rather than one. What does 3 teams mean? Duplicated effort, working in silos, meaning that myself and other people cannot share great skills and great knowledge transfers. We can't have knowledge transfers. We can't say, I learned this during this call. I think this might benefit you in the project you're working on. We can't pass that on when we're not working in collaboration, rather we're working in competition. Tech thrives on teamwork, not titles. And number 3, this is key because this is something I didn't know. AI isn't replacing you, it's reshaping how you work. You must adapt early. We're not thinking about tools and AI like, oh, the robots have come to take over, right? I don't have a job anymore. I'm just going to sit down and lament and think, is this job really for me? No. I'm going to ask you one question and I know you can't answer back, but I want you to go home and think about it today. If I think about, or if you think about any task you could replace and automate, so be it the dishes, some of you don't like doing the dishes, I understand. If there's a pile of dishes, I'm going to be like, yeah, pass it, double it and give it to the next person. It's not me, right? But if you could automate a task that you wish to do today, what task would it be? Some may say dishes. Some may say picking up the kids from school. I understand that as well. The school run. I haven't got children personally, but picking up my niece and nephew, it's a chore. It's a chore. AI isn't there to replace you. It is there to aid you. I could have easily been persuaded by the minds of people where they said, what do you really do as a scrum master? I mean, all you do is do meetings, right? And ask people what they're doing. But what do you do? And I'm like, no, I'm actually your psychological therapist as a developer. I'm not just thinking about the work that you're doing and asking you, is it done? What's going on here? What's your blocker? I'm trying to aid you in a way you're not overworking yourself, but working within a capacity that suits all. And also, of course, suits yourself. So, what does AI do for me? I work with now apps such as Miro. Miro has now come up with mind maps where I can type in something like, I want to make a brainstorm, right, to raise money to buy a car. I can then use the AI tool to then expand the points. It comes and starts to make up things that I could think of, e.g., what are the methodologies? What are the ways in which I can go about purchasing this car? That's AI. So rather than spending 30 minutes then lamenting on, oh, okay, how can I brainstorm? How can I do this? And thinking, okay, my role, they're saying I have to incorporate AI, I have to do AI training, sounds a bit boring. I want to challenge you today. How can I work side by side with AI? We're not going to back down in tech. Tech is something that constantly adapts. And then, of course, my last point being continuous learning. You must stay curious, upskill often, and stay relevant. The issue here with a lot of people is that tech isn't hard. The hardest part of tech is actually staying relevant. Continuous learning is key. Now, I'll give you an example. Some of you might be in a place where you're studying and you're feeling like, okay, I want to be a project manager. How do I become a project manager? And the first thing you think is, let me get my PMP. And all of a sudden, I'm a project manager. Guess what? It doesn't work like that. You have to be able to continuously learn. Once I get my PMP, how do I then develop the skills that I have? Even if you're great at communication, it never stops. As for me, yes, I'm great at communicating with people. However, do I have times where I hold conversations and say a lot of ands and ums and saying filler words? There is always room for improvement, always room for improvement, upskilling often. So I've been grateful enough to be in such a company as Cisco. They always emphasize and push me to my best capabilities. With them, I have gained so many certifications, including AI certifications. I think that's been so key. And this is not just for your current role, this is for maybe even future roles to come. Even if you're thinking within yourself, this is what I'm doing today, but this is what I aim to do tomorrow. You need to upskill and continuously learn. Please feel free to ask your questions. I will get back to them as well, and then we can flow from there. And of course, I want us to start to bridge our own gap. I know what I had to say today seems a bit brief, but it was to bridge the gap that seems to be there. I don't want there to be a divide between when you finish uni and then you're thrown into the land of work and you're like, what's going on here? This is not what I was promised. You probably think adulthood consists of getting paid monthly basis, money's flying in, life is Gucci, everything's great. But there's loads of gaps and there are hidden treasures that we need to find today. So let's discuss these key features. Passion gets you in, but purpose keeps you there. I'm going to give a very profound example of passion versus purpose. I was once asked if I need a difference between passion and purpose. And I said, oh, well, I guess passion is what you love and purpose is something that, you kind of live for and everything. And guess what? It's not as simple as that. But I will explain something. I'll use an analogy. So there was actually a company, and correct me if I'm wrong if you know this, I think this was Ford, right? Back in the 19 somethings, so before I was born or thought of, they actually thought of a car idea, a great car idea. And this car, they made it because they thought this feature was nice. Maybe they thought they wanted a talking sat nav. Of course, at that time, we know how sat nerves. If anyone's an oldie, you know the A to Zs. But let's just think about features, right? They thought about adapting the car so it had features that they liked. They thought about features they thought would be great for the car. They made this car, and to record, I think nobody but one or nobody at all purchased the car. My question to you is, why do you think nobody bought the car? My answer to that question was simply this. I thought, oh, well, I guess maybe other car competitors had better cars that year. Maybe the car wasn't all that as they thought. But no, the simple answer was this. They were so passionate about what they liked or what they felt people would like, but they didn't actually do the market research or conduct what people needed. I'll explain how that relates to passion and purpose. Passion is something that satisfies you from the within. So you're looking like, oh, I love tech. Tech makes me happy. Oh, I think I like leading projects. I like facilitating stuff and telling people what to do and delegating. So that's why I want to be a project manager. And that is my passion. And I'm going to go for it. That is great. Where you see longevity is purpose. So you're shifting from that mindset of feeding yourself, but how could I then serve others? And that is the element of my role as a Scrum Master. I'm a servant leader. It is my aim to serve the people, but in that serving, I am still leading. So you need to shift your mindset from what do I love to, oh, what do I know that I have within me but serves others? Because by serving others, you are always going to be needed. Some of you might question some of the colleagues or people you have within your company and go, why is this person still here? Why do they still have a role? I mean, they don't really do much. But guess what? When you failed to say, hey, Jess, or hey, Kevin, I want to make a cup of tea for you. Are you okay? That is their role. That is their purpose. They are keeping the people going. So sometimes it's not about what you know and the JQLs and the HTML and everything you know and all the code. It's not about that. It's about what do you offer to the end user. So I want you to have a think about that. Of course, be teachable and stay adaptable. I have had, and this is me being transparent, I have had many situations where I felt, okay, maybe, okay, I think I'm doing okay, I'm doing well. And maybe my manager's been like doing a review, like, okay, I want you to push yourself. I want you to do this. I want you to thrive in this area. Why don't you reach out more to external teams? Don't work in silos. Don't be shy. Communicate, network, because networking within your company gets you to places too. Don't sit and wait and think your talent is going to get you your next promotion. Sometimes it's talking to the next person. So when he said that to me, best believe the first time I was like, okay, with all my great work, is this all you have to say? But I remained teachable. Even though my mind felt like that, my heart knew that I still needed to be teachable. With anywhere that you are going, be it work, be it external things outside of work, anywhere in life, you need to be teachable. Not only is it a skill, but it's something that allows you to work with people very easily. Confidence. Confidence grows when curiosity leads. I used to keep quiet when I used to hear things like, oh, yeah, the CI/CD pipelines. And I'm thinking, who is CI and who is CD? And why are you telling me about them? And I don't want to know. I don't want to know. That was me. I was thinking, I don't want to put my hand up, like, oh, what does that mean? Because as Scrum lead, I thought I was supposed to know everything automatically. How will you know everything automatically? It's only one that's been in the labor room that could describe to you how painful giving birth is. I can't explain that because I haven't been through it. So confidence in raising your hand and saying, hey, I see you've explained this table. Oh, I've seen this diagram you drawn. What does this actually entail of? Well, what does this relate to? How does this then serve the end user? How does this benefit the team? Asking questions doesn't make you stupid. It makes you grow confidence. If you're wondering why in interviews they say sometimes go ahead and ask questions at the end, it gives you a little spike. Have you ever been in an interview, right, and they've asked you all the questions, you're like, actually, I'm going to ask you some questions back. What would you say you bring to the table? What would you say you've brought to the company since you've joined? Throw it back to them. That grows confidence, and it also assures that you know what you're talking about. And of course, the last point being mentorship opens doors and sponsorship keeps them open. If anyone could tell me one thing when I was younger and going back again, it would be that mentorship and sponsorship are not the same thing. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. Even if you think you're on Mount Everest and you're the top, even the toppest, and that's not even a word, but I'm saying it, the toppest person in the world will still have a mentor. You need a mentor in every element of your life, be it in your business, be it within the world of work. I have many mentors. I stayed confined to one mentor before, and I thought, no, actually, this doesn't work for me. I have one mentor for agile methodology. If I'm like, oh, I'm not too sure, this is a bit topsy turvy. I have another mentor for career progression. She might say, hey, what are you doing right now? Have you updated your CV? Have you then said, I've completed this within the last 6 months? This is where I'm going, this is where I'm headed. How do I then go about this? You need a mentor for every pillar, and not a mentor that derives or battles or clashes with the advice of one another, but you will find for every little corner of your life, someone gives a particular great advice. You might find as well, some of your friends, you might not tell one person about your dating life. Maybe you tell the other one strictly about the world of work. Not because they're not both your friends, but there is an element of expertise that both of them have. Sometimes you can't put everything into one basket. Spread your eggs of mentorship. And of course, sponsorship is very different. Sponsorship opens the doors, right? It keeps them open for you. So you're basically saying, oh, okay, I'd like to sponsor you to go about and go to this exhibition and learn more about AI and how things work. Sponsorship is there, but mentorship is the first thing I would aid you to go to. Sponsorship, you do get along the lines, but build relationship. Everybody knows, and maybe it's myself too. I don't like people that just use you. You know, they only come to you for a favor. Everybody's been through that. That person that goes, hey, girl, hey, bro, what's going on? And they're only mentioning you or shouting out to you when they need a favor. You need to build relationships so the sponsorship comes so smoothly. And I've been in many positions at Cisco where I've needed sponsorship for certain things I wanted to do. And I'll give this very same platform is more than a privilege to me. It's in my aim outside of Cisco to be more confident, to speak more about my journey. But how do I then get here? It's because of the relationship I've built with people on amidst Cisco, and they've said, hey, you know what? Do you want to partake in this? I'd like to put you forward. And here I am addressing this to you. It's not to say I'm at my final boss destination and I'm there. I never conclude that I'm there. There's always room to make more mentors. There's always room to then have more sponsorships come along the way. So I guess my talk in today, even though I know I have a few minutes left, my advice to you would simply be this. The gap isn't there to stop you. It's there to stretch you. In the elements of your place of work, in your studies, there is always going to be a gap. My question to you is, have you sat down to assess where the gap is within your company, within your team? Sometimes my mind is so channeled to just scrum me, then I forget that, hold on, wait a minute. This person said they're over capacity. Within my free time, how can I stretch a hand across? Give yourself a stretch assignment. Yeah, you might argue, well, this is all I get paid for, so I'm going to stop there. That is where you get it wrong. That is where you get it wrong. I'm not saying be enslaved, but I'm saying fill in the gap where you know your skills can cover. And of course, to bring it to a close, because I do respect time, I want to thank you again for coming. I hope this helps somebody, but I wanted to encourage you, connect with one another. So I'm not sure how, if you're all having like a little lounge or a place where you've seen people speak today, with every speaker, connect to them. I know the last speaker was Nkiru Wenu. Amazingly, she actually shared a part of my journey with me. We interned together, and she's amazing. She's doing great things, and I look at her and I'm very inspired. Don't be so familiar with people around you that you never get inspired. Just because your best friend seems like your best friend, or the person within your company or your colleague are super close and you've built a great rapport, never get familiar. There is something special about each and every one of you that someone else can also learn from or even teach you. So that is what I'll give as advice to you.
Thank you, Daniella. That was perfect. Great session. I just wanted to know if I could have 5 minutes that we have left to go through the questions that some people have put.
Most definitely, yes.
Okay, so someone asked, what is next for your progression?
Amazing question, actually. So currently right now, because I've developed and I've sat down and I've done like a little build on the things that I've covered within my role, I found that I've done quite a bit of portfolio work. So where I'm trying to edge towards now is not, I don't work on just Scrum team level, but rather working in portfolio. So maybe an agile coach, preferably overlooking multiple teams and spreading across great practice. So yeah, that's where I'm edging towards right now.
How do you deal with imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome is something you need to understand. It stems from the mind. If you allow your mind to challenge you when you know within your heart what you possess, that is where it overtakes you. Imposter syndrome can be conquered by so many things, but the key things that helped me was number one, outlining all my skills. I find that every project that I do, I have a little tally chart of things that I've achieved. Acknowledge all the small wins. They're not too small to be acknowledged. And with the big wins as well, most definitely celebrate them.
Thank you. And what's the most challenging aspect of implementing Scrum in a new team?
Oh, great question, actually. I think implementing a new methodology, the most hardest thing will always and forever be getting everybody on board. You will find you're dealing with many characters. Let's call a spade in your team. Yeah, everybody's jubbly, but you're dealing with multiple characters that either don't want to go with the move or want to go with the move, or someone not too sure. My best bet or best advice for implementing something new within a team, such as Scrum or Kanban, would be to know your stuff. As the person leading, take them along with you. Don't lead and leave them behind. It's servant leadership. Serve them, then lead. The first thing is to serve. Yeah.
Would you advise personality tests to inform career choices, and any links to signposts if so?
Yes. So I actually took one. So back when I was younger, I actually did a personality test. I don't remember the website, but I could just tell you what to type in. I typed in um, jobs that suit my personality. Really random Google search, but it saved me a lot of pain. I type that in and it takes you through a personality test. And from there, working through it, it will suggest a list of careers. I printed each description and role that suited me best, assessed them, and then related it to how my grades and things were going. So personality does matter. If you know you're very outspoken, please do not go and work back end in tech. You will go crazy. Yes.
What are some things that helped you land a role at Cisco?
Being authentic. I got my role, funny enough, I applied as an intern first and foremost, and it was through LinkedIn. I didn't know Cisco existed. I thought Cisco was simply the people that sang a thong song. And when I found out it was an actual company, and not just the company, but the world's leading networking company, I connected and I randomly followed an IT manager. Once I followed him, I then applied for the internship role, not knowing he was going to be the one interviewing me. Within that interview, what I found was he read me like a book. Your CV has already told people what your skills are. In that interview, it's time for you to be authentic. Even if you don't know, show the willingness to know. And that's what got me not only one job offer, but two. And I selected what team I was working with.
What is one advice you wish you were told when you were younger?
Oh, that caught me off guard. One advice I would give to my younger self, I think, would be stay true to the skills you know you possess. A lot of times, the things that we learn, the people externally, and I say this to say, sometimes you have a vision for yourself and you know you've been given and you see yourself somewhere. Sharing it with people isn't necessarily the best thing because they don't see the vision for you. The vision is for you to see yourself and to carry it out. So I would say don't listen to what other people have to say. Do what is true to you and you will thrive in it.
Thank you. This is going to have to be the last question because we are running out of time. And it is, are you accepting any mentorship requests?
Yes, most definitely. We can connect via LinkedIn. So strictly Daniella Osammor. Please feel free to connect with me there. I will most definitely reach out. We can set up a few sessions as well. And it'll be amazing to catch up with you all.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. Really insightful, very engaging. And yeah, stick around, guys. We have a lot more sessions coming up. Thank you very much, Daniella.
Thanks, team. Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye.